Everyone asks me for the secret to getting rich, and when I give them the real answer, they look at me like I just told them the earth is flat. They want a magic button or a secret crypto coin that goes to the moon overnight. But that is not how the big money is actually made. I am only 25, but I have spent more time with spreadsheets and dead billionaires' logic than most people spend breathing. Right now, the headlines are screaming that $1,000 car payments have become the new normal. More than 15% of new car buyers are signing up for 4-digit monthly payments, and it is absolutely insane. You see these videos on social media where people brag about paying $1,600 or $1,700 a month for a piece of metal that depreciates while they sleep. In this video, we are going to dive deep into what kind of car you can actually afford based on your actual income. We are going to look at 3 specific salary levels: $40,000, $80,000, and $150,000. Car dealers are experts at tricking your brain by focusing only on the monthly payment instead of the total cost. They will stretch your loan to 69 months or even 84 months just to make the number look small enough for you to say yes. But the truth is that the longer your loan, the more you are being robbed by interest rates and depreciation. Every dollar you send to a car lender is a dollar that is not working for you in the stock market. Let us start with the first rule of car buying, which is the 35% rule. This rule says the total price of your car should never exceed 35% of your annual gross income. If you earn $40,000 a year, that means your car should cost no more than $14,000. If you earn $80,000, your limit is $28,000. And if you make $150,000, you should stop at $52,500. Honestly, I think the 35% rule is way too aggressive, and mostly for people who value status over freedom. If you want to actually build wealth, you should probably change that to the 20% or 25% rule. The goal is to have a car that gets you from point A to point B without murdering your ability to save money. If you only remember one thing from this video, remember that the purchase price matters more than the monthly payment. Now let us talk about the famous 24-10 rule for car affordability. The 20 stands for a 20% down payment because you need skin in the game. If you buy a $30,000 car, you need to put down $6,000 in cash right away. The reason for this is simple math and protection against depreciation. Cars lose about 20% of their value in the very first year you own them. If you put zero money down, you will immediately owe $25,000 on a car that is only worth $20,000. You are underwater, and that is a dangerous place to be if you need to sell the car in an emergency. The 4 in the rule stands for a loan term of no more than 4 years. 4 years is the sweet spot because it keeps your interest costs low and ensures you pay off the car before it falls apart. If you stretch a $30,000 loan to 6 years, you are just giving an extra $1,300 to the bank for no reason. The final number 10 means your total monthly car expenses should be less than 10% of your gross monthly income. This 10% includes your loan payment, your insurance, and your maintenance. If you earn $40,000 a year, your total car budget is $333 a month. If you earn $80,000, you have $666 to work with. And at $150,000, you can handle $1,250. Just because you can afford, it does not mean you should spend every single penny of that limit. Every dollar you save on a car is a dollar you can invest in the Standard & Poor 500 index. I want you to think about the opportunity cost of a fancy car. If you put $20,000 into a car today, that money is gone and it is losing value. But if you invested that same $20,000 at a 9% return, it would be worth $31,000 in 5 years. If you left it alone for 30 years, that $20,000 would turn into over $265,000. Is that new car smell really worth $265,000 of your future freedom? The math says no, but the marketing says yes, and most people listen to the marketing. Now let us talk about how to actually save money when you are forced to buy a vehicle. Tip number 1 is to stop being lazy and call at least 5 different insurance companies for quotes. Insurance companies are fighting for your business, and you can often save $100 a month just by switching. Tip number 2 is to buy a 3-year-old used car because someone else has already paid for the biggest drop in value. A 3-year-old car still feels new but costs 40% less than the sticker price. Tip number 3 is to check the real cost of ownership before you buy. Some luxury cars like a used BMW might look cheap to buy, but they will ruin you with maintenance and repair costs. A Toyota might cost more upfront, but it will save you $20,000 over 5 years. In total expenses, the average price of a new car in America is now over $48,000. Based on the 35% rule, the people buying these cars should be earning $137,000 a year. But we know that most people are not earning that much, which means most people are broke and driving their mistakes. Don't be a part of the crowd that sacrifices their future for a status symbol that nobody actually cares about. If you can follow the 24-10 rule, you are already ahead of 90% of the population. Your car is a tool to get you to work, not a trophy to show your neighbors how much debt you can handle. The game of wealth is about owning assets that go up in value and avoiding liabilities that go down. A car is the ultimate liability, and you should treat it with extreme caution. Stay boring with your transportation so you can stay wild with your investments. Freedom is the ability to own your time, and you cannot own your time if the bank owns your paycheck. Every monthly payment you eliminate is a raise you give to yourself. The math never lies even when the car salesman does. Take control of your numbers and stop being a victim of the monthly payment trap. If you enjoyed this breakdown, then do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps the algorithm show this math to more people who are about to make a huge mistake at a car dealership. Check out my free newsletter in the link below if you want more deep dives into the logic of money. I am going to go back to my spreadsheets now and look for more ways to help you win. Be patient with your wealth and be aggressive with your savings. The snap is coming, and you want to be the one with the cash when it happens. Stay boring. Stay patient. Peace. Every $1,000 you save and invest is an employee working for you 24 hours a day. If that fund returns 7%, then that $1,000 is earning you $70 a year. That is almost 3 hours of free life every single year for the rest of your life. That is how you actually win the game, by hiring enough employees so you do not have to be one. Most people fire their best workers to buy a new car or a fancy watch. Don't be that person who sabotages their own future for a moment of status. Be the person who builds a fortress and collects employees. The robots might control the daily price, but you control your own destiny. If you have $1 million working for you, then you have $70,000 of annual freedom. And with the current tax laws, that $70,000 is basically all yours to keep. The reality is that freedom is cheaper than they told you, but it requires you to be different from the crowd and stay focused. The crowd wants the drama, and the crowd wants the shiny things. You want the boring index funds and the low tax bill. You want the quiet life where you can bump into new ideas. And you want the peace of mind that comes from knowing the math. The future is bright if you stop listening to the dark headlines. The world is growing and tech is winning, and you are invited to the party. Just don't get drunk on the hype and stay focused on the numbers. Build your wall high and build it strong. And when the next flash crash happens, you can just sit back and watch the show, because your fortress is built on a foundation of math that cannot be shaken. Take the data and run your own numbers, and stop being a victim of bad information. The world is changing fast, but the logic of simple compounding remains the same. Invert the problem and ask how you can avoid being stupid instead of how to be a genius. Believing that a car is an investment is a great way to stay poor forever. Take control of your assets and stop taking orders from car commercials. Stay boring with your investments, but stay wild with your life. The real reality is that you are more capable than you think, and your money is worth more than they say. Go out there and live your life, and stop checking the price of your car every 5 minutes. It will be there when you need it if you just treat it like the tool it is. The hardest part of investing is doing nothing, and you should strive to be the best at it. The robots and the experts are fast, but they are not always right. They cannot build a 30-year life for you. Only you can do that with patience. We are living through a massive technological rotation, and it is okay to feel small. But if you stick to the math and ignore the noise, you will come out on top. Every week, I will be here to break down the spreadsheets, so you do not have to. We are going to win because we are willing to stay boring while everyone else panics. The market is a giant machine for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Make sure you are on the right side of that transfer every single day. 10 years of growth is sitting right there for the taking if you have the guts to buy. The rivers of capital are always moving, and your job is to stand where the water is going, not where the water used to be 10 years ago. If you are feeling overwhelmed by the data, just remember that the goal is simple. Buy the things that solve the biggest problems and then wait for the world to notice. The waiting is the hardest part, but it is also the highest paying job in the world. I am going to leave it there before I start repeating myself too much. You have the data, and you have the logic, and now you just need the discipline. Don't let them move the goalposts on you, because you are the one playing the game. The math never lies, and it says you are going to be just fine if you stay the course. Everything else in the news is just noise designed to keep you busy and broke. Stay boring, stay patient, peace.